Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have a review on the new Titan 250D. This vehicle came out as part of the Drip Feed DLC Oscar Guzman Flies Again today. Now this is the upgraded weaponized Titan that a lot of us have been waiting for. Its regular price is $4,870,000, but you can actually get it for a trade price of $3,652,000 if you finish Oscar Guzman's storyline. So make sure you finish the main storyline, not the regular free mode work that gives you, but the main storyline with the Titan job at the end. You get paid for it, and hey, you get $1 million off. Now, about the Titan 250D, comparing it to the regular Titan, there actually is a small difference physically with it besides the guns. The tail on the Titan 250D is actually a little bit taller than the regular Titan. This thing has, EMS upgrades, it has engine upgrades, it also has countermeasures. But one important thing here is the guns on it. It has a 25mm cannon, a 40mm cannon, and also a 105mm cannon. The 40mm cannon is the only cannon that can actually be used by the pilot. So the pilot levels out the plane, can actually switch to the cannon, and can shoot it anytime he wants. This is the middle cannon. The other two cannons can only be used by passengers. Now, how is handling in this thing? The handling on this thing is way better than on the regular Titan. It can make much sharper turns. On top of that, it's much easier to do a flip with this thing. And one thing I've noticed, a lot of people haven't noticed this, but you can actually fly the Titan 250D upside down. Now, you cannot fly the regular Titan upside down. If you try to fly the regular Titan upside down, what will happen is it will keep going towards the ground until it eventually hits the ground. This thing, you can actually keep it upside down for a pretty long time if you know what you're doing. So the agility on it is just much better. But what about a speed test? How does it do in speed exactly? Well, I did do a speed test here. I decided to test it against the Bambushka, and I wanted to test it against the regular Titan, just to see what the speed difference is. And I want to thank my friend Trio Knight and Rodriguez for helping me to record this. But here I am in the Titan 250D in the middle of the runway, and we're doing two speed tests here. Right here, we're taking off. We're all taking off at the same time. We're going, and you see, I get ahead of everyone. I gain altitude quicker, and I just beat the other two planes easily. The Bambushka was the absolute worst. Even the regular Titan is faster than the Bambushka. I also wanted to do a second speed test here, and I actually let both planes take off before me. My friend over there actually used a JTO boost in the Bambushka, and even though I gave them a big head start here, both the Titan and the Bambushka are no match for this thing in speed. The Titan 250D is able to easily pass them and catch up to them, no problem, both in altitude and in speed. So out of all the large planes you can own in the game, this right now is the fastest and most agile, comparing it to the Titan and the Bambushka. So I was pretty impressed with the speed. I'm actually happy it's decently fast, because one of the things that pissed me off so many years ago when I reviewed the Bambushka is just the slowness of that thing. It's just so slow. It's such a slow aircraft, despite all the upgrades. How can the regular Titan be faster than the Bambushka? That makes absolutely no sense to me. But here, now, we have the fastest, largest plane in the game is this one. It's not the fastest plane in the game, but out of all the largest planes, this is the fastest one. Also, about this aircraft, you actually can open up the cargo ramp in the settings, but even though you can open up the cargo ramp, sorry to say, guys, you can't put anything in there. You can't even walk in there in the back, which... Why? Why exactly? I remember in the past we could actually drive vehicles in here, but then Rockstar just wanted to take away our fun with previous, vehicles that had cargo ramps, and now we can't do it anymore. Why exactly? I don't get it personally. It's like, couldn't we put a small vehicle in here, or at least have somebody walk in here just for fun to mess around when we take off? Nope, you can't do that. No fun allowed here. Here we decided to do a weapons test with the Titan, and I wanted to do a Headhunter because Headhunter has two moving targets in armored vehicles and two targets in the ground stationary, and so I thought this would be a perfect way to test to see how effective the Titan's guns are. Thank you for Blinded Eagle, Jaws, and Rodriguez for helping with this test right here. Now, our first test run, I was using the 40mm gun, and we did manage to destroy the armored vehicles. The 40mm was kind of effective against it, but it was just... we were just not that good with it our first run at it. We just weren't able to hit that accurately. And one of the reasons is that I learned pretty quickly on that if you want to be completely accurate with this thing, you have to have the Titan fly in a completely straight line. I know a lot of people don't want to do that because they're scared of getting hit, and so they tend to swerve the Titan or turn it a lot, but you don't want to do that. You want to only turn it really when you're coming back in for another run. But if you fly in a perfectly straight line, you should be able to hit the target. But it can be a bit difficult when the targets are in alleys like this and in tight places. It can make seeing them a bit hard. And no, you cannot use a thermal helmet in the Titan. I tried to do that. Now, our first run of Headhunter is horrible. It took us like 9 minutes. But then the second run, we actually practiced a bit. We got better with the guns. I used 105mm on the second run. The second run, we finished in around 4 minutes. And it was 2 shots from the 105mm. It managed to blow up those armored Headhunter vehicles. Now, those Headhunter vehicles, they can take multiple missiles from a Buzzard and a Sparrow. So the 105mm was really doing its job. It's one shot, and you have to wait a few seconds for it to reload, but it's a very deadly shot, especially if you hit in the right location. I also wanted to mention one thing. If you jump in as a passenger on a gun and there's multiple people there and you try to switch, there's sometimes this weird glitch where you just basically get knocked out of the plane. I've had this happen to me twice, so hopefully this gets patched. It's not that annoying. It only happened twice, but just something you keep in mind. It might happen if you switch to guns while you're on the ground. Now, about this here, we are doing a test, and I want to thank also Rodriguez, Jaws, Blinded Eagle, Anomalous Scientist, and Justin X for helping out with this. So what we're going to be doing here is we're in Ghost Organization, and we are going to be using the different guns on top of them. Now, I told my friend Anomalous and Justin that we were going to fly over them and try to kill them. They don't know where we're coming from, and face it, the best way to use a Titan if you're fighting anybody in PvP is Ghost Organization, because if you fly this, they're going to see you coming a mile away. So Ghost Organization is really the way to get a jump on them. But once you do get a jump on them, how effective is this thing exactly? Well, using the 105mm here, I was doing pretty well. And I killed a bunch of them, and it was pretty effective. So when they were out in the streets, it was good. The thing is, though, is you have to keep an eye really closely on the ground to see where the players are. You could kind of use the map to try to triangulate their position. But one thing that kept giving them away is when they would fire homing launchers, I would look for that homing launcher, and then I would just fire right in that direction where it came from with 105mm, and I would usually kill them. I would say, if you're going to be using countermeasures, use flares. Don't use chaff on this thing. We tried using chaff here. It was not that effective. Flares are going to be just way more effective with this thing. But after about 6 or 7 homing launchers, what happens is the engines start dying, and the thing starts falling, and then we blew up at this point. So when it gets hit with like 5, 6, 7 homing launchers, it's pretty much dead at that point. Even if it doesn't blow up, the engines are going to die, and it's over. Now, in this part here, we were using flares, and I was using the 25mm cannon. Now, this is an automatic explosive gun. It's not as powerful as the 105mm, and my friends here were inside alleyways. Now, this gun, you might think this gun is actually useless, but this gun very much does have its purpose. So even though I wasn't able to really kill anybody with the 25mm, you can take a look right here. At this gun is going to be very useful when it comes to any kind of vehicles. So if there's like a car on the ground that you have to blow up, the 25mm can be very effective with that. You just spray it around, it's explosive. A bunch of small little explosions will blow up the car really quickly. And if you have helicopters chasing you, this is going to be more effective than the 40mm and the 105mm. So my friend Justin X, he was in a Savage right here. Look at what the 25mm did to him. Blew him up really quickly. So if you got a chopper coming at you, 25mm is the best. And I guess for also other aircraft coming at you, even jets, it could be effective. However, though, if you are trying to blow up a Titan, if somebody's in a Titan and they're shooting at you, the best way to destroy them, and this is from my friend Justin's perspective right here, the best way to destroy them would be to get on their right side where they can't shoot or get above them, as he did with the helicopter here. And once he got above us, we weren't able to get above him, and he shut us down and killed us pretty quickly. Additionally, here's a clip from my friend Justin, and this shows you what it's like to actually be shot at by the Titan with the 105mm. It's actually pretty terrifying. And we did one final battle here against Anomalous and Justin. And this one we were using Ghost Organization, but there's a big catch here. Instead of using homing launchers, both of them were actually using explosive snipers. And we didn't even last 2 minutes in the sky. We got shot down in a little bit over 1 minute and 30 seconds. And the only reason we lasted close to 2 minutes was because we had Ghost Organization. They didn't know exactly where we were, but when they found us in the sky, because you're a big target in the sky, they shot us down pretty quickly. If you did not have Ghost Organization, you get shot down very, very fast at this thing. When it comes to shooting down a Titan with the explosive sniper, it's going to take maybe about 8-12 shots. But after those 8-12 shots, even if the thing does not blow up, what happens is the engines just die. The engines die, and the thing just plummets and goes down. So even after a couple shots on this thing, it's pretty much destroyed. Now, I remember there was people talking about how if you shot the back tail, there was this glitch where the entire thing would crash. I don't think that's in there. We've tested that. We haven't had that happen. But if you just shoot the hull of this thing, and you just shoot it multiple times, it's going to go down pretty quickly and crash. So explosive sniper is the best way to shoot this thing down. It's actually way more effective than homing launcher, because chances are the person's probably using flares on this thing. So we've covered pretty much all of these weapons, but what's the range on them exactly? The 25mm, the 40mm, and the 105mm. Well, I wanted to test it. So when a plane is landed, the 40mm and the 25mm can be fired, but the 105mm cannot be fired on the ground. You have to be in the air. But the distance on it is exactly 305 meters. I got 304 meters, but I think it's 305 meters. So 305 meters for the 20mm and the 40mm cannon. Thank you to my friends Blinded Eagle, John Wick, and Minifig for helping me to do this test. But when it comes to the 105mm, even though you can't fire it on the ground, I still wanted to know exactly what the distance is on it, and so we did a test in the air. Now in the air, I'm not able to see the exact distance, but I can see how far the thing goes. So right here, you can see the 105mm has more range than the 40mm and the 25mm. We're spraying all three weapons at once, and then you see the 105mm just go way past the 25 and 40mm. I think it's around 350 meters. At least that's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like it went an extra 100 meters. It looked more like it went an extra 50 meters. So that's what I'll say. 25mm, 40mm, 40mm, 305 meters, 105 millimeters, about 350 meters. And lastly here, I wanted to do a damage test, the armor on this thing. What is it? Remember how I said it's about 5, 6, 7 homing launchers and the thing will be dead in the air? That's before it blows up, so the engines will die on it, and between 8 to 12 shots with the explosive sniper, and the engines will die on it as well. But when it comes to it being on the ground, I found something really weird about the armor, and this is really, really weird. If you hit this from the front with the homing launcher, if you hit it right in the cockpit, it's going to be between 1 to 2 shots. And this has happened to me twice already testing it, so I don't think it was just a one-off thing. But when I actually test it in the back, and I shoot it in the back, it took me about 12 shots to blow up. On the 9th shot, what happened was my friend was forced to get out of it because the game counted the thing as already being destroyed before it got blown up. But it took about 12 shots to blow up from the back, but then only 2 shots from the front, so really weird system on the armor here. And here at the end, we come to our pros and the cons. And the pros are, this thing has 3 different weapons. It has a 25mm automatic gun that can just basically spray, create small little explosions. A 40mm gun, which creates larger explosions, 10 shots. And then also a 105mm that's, even though it just fires one at a time, fires a pretty big explosive. Another pro is it has good back armor. So when it comes to the back, if the back gets hit by like 6 or 7 homing missiles, it's pretty much going to be done, but you still have time to eject. So like the engines are going to die, but you could probably have enough time to escape. But if we're talking strictly just, before it explodes, it can go up to 10 shots. It's weird, but the back armor can take a bunch of shots. Front armor is a little different, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. This is the fastest large plane in the game. So it's not the fastest plane in the game, but compared to all the large planes in the game, the really large ones, this is the fastest one there. Trade price, you get $1 million off on this thing. I was thinking about making the con the price, but, you get a military aircraft with a bunch of 3 different weapons on it, and you get over $1 million off with completing the Oscar Guzman missions, and, you get over $500,000 for completing the Oscar Guzman missions, so I don't think I'm really gonna put trade as the price as a con on this one. And for the cons, weak front armor, really weird. 2 shots from a homing launcher in the front, it gets blown up. Pilot can only fire the 40 millimeter, kind of disappointing. I wish as the pilot I could switch between 25 millimeter, 40 millimeter, and 105 millimeter. Why am I only stuck to why am I only stuck to the 40 millimeter? And glitch kicking you out. Now, I've only had this happen to me twice, but I thought I would mention this. I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but basically this happens when you get in as a passenger on the ground and you try to switch a gun right when you get into the passenger. The thing will actually kick you out. You actually fall to the ground, fall through the floor of the plane, and the ramp is useless. Why do you even have a ramp in the back? Like, what's even the purpose of opening that back hatch? If you can't even put anything in the back, you can't even walk into it, what's the point of it? And the last con here is, I'm not an expert on military planes, but this is supposed to be based on the AC130, and what's at the range? 305 meters for the 40 millimeter and the 25 millimeter. I know the 105 millimeter can go a little farther, about 350 meters, but it should be a lot farther. I think it should be way farther. And, we're on next gen. We're on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC recently got updated too. So why are we only limited at 305 meters on this? I think the shot should go a lot farther. These things, I don't know how far an AC-130 can shoot in real life, but I can guess this probably goes, more than a mile on some of these shots. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys know exactly how far they can fire, but I think that 305 meters is way too little, and if you were up a lot higher in the air, it would also be a lot harder for people to shoot you down. But thank you guys for watching. If you're asking me, should you buy this thing? Yes, buy this vehicle. The reason you should buy this vehicle is because it's a very unique vehicle. One of the most unique vehicles in the game. And, we have an AC-130, way better than the Bambushka, way better than what we have the Titan now. Hopefully they add that giant Russian cargo plane eventually to the game as well. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you do drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.